Hey, in today's video we will go over a list of new games that will be added to Path of Exile with the 3.19 patch, as well as which games have changed. New games. First one, Alchemist Mark. Base duration is 4 seconds, 10% increased area of effect, Burning Ground no deals 26% of the fire damage per second of strongest ignite on enemy, Caustic Ground deals 79% of the chaos damage per second of the strongest poison on enemy. Can create each ground effect no more than once each second. Gain 1 flask charge when you hit a cursed enemy no more than once every 3 seconds. Could be interesting for a lot of poison builds out there. Next, Galvanic Field deals 56 to 1076 lightning damage, cannot inflict shock, base duration is 6 seconds, fires a beam every 0.10 seconds. Can target each enemy only once every 0.5 seconds. Field gains 50% more damage with hits per 5% shocked effect on enemy when generated. Field gains +1 to radius per 10% shocked effect on enemy when created. Maximum 1 field. Buff grants 20% chance to shock enemies. Buff grants 30% increased shock duration. Looks interesting on paper, not sure how it will perform in game though. Next will be a Lightning Conduit. Deals 786 to 2359 lightning damage, cannot inflict shock. This spell cast time is added to its cooldown if triggered. 20% increased damage, 15% more damage with hits per 5% shock effect on enemy. I'm not familiar with lightning builds, so no real comment on that. Looks okay-ish to good though. Next, Overcharge Support. Supported skills have 50% chance to shock. Supported skills have 30% increased shock duration on enemies. Supported skills deal 25% less damage. Supported skills shock enemies as though dealing 690% more damage. Looks like a good support gem for lightning builds. Okay, let's come to the changes. Vaal Detonate Dead. New explosion deals base fire damage equal to 7.9% of the corp's maximum life. Previously dealt 9%. So they nerfed Detonate Dead. Detonate Dead was a popular race/hardcore build. I personally think it's still playable though, but I'm not the expert on this case. Vaal Haste. New. You and your nearby allies gain 20% increased movement speed. Old. You and your nearby allies gain 30% increased movement speed. So you get effectively 7% more increased movement speed. Nice. Vaal Reave. New. Attack damage 350. Old one was 313. And new effectiveness of added damage 350. Old was 313. So a 37% buff over the board. Nice. Good for melee builds. Vaal Clarity. Souls per use 50. Old was souls per use 30. Base duration is 10 seconds. Old base duration is 9.9 seconds. So a 0.1 increase in base duration. Vaal Flameblast. New 200% more spell damage for each stage. Old was 140% more spell damage for each stage. So they buff Vaal Flameblast. Okay. Vaal Summoned Skeletons is just black. I don't know why. Absolution modified. New critical chance is 6%. Old was 5, so 1%. That's nice. Radius is now 6 instead of 4. Good buffs. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. Animated Guardian. New minions attack deal 126 to 184 additional physical damage. Old was 56 to 84. So this looks like a big buff on paper. I don't entirely sure why though, because usually the Animated Guardian is not a damage dealer, more for a support minion, but maybe this would change with these buffs. I don't know. Cleave. Modified. New +10 to radius. Old was +8, so 2 radius more. Nice, good for melee build. Again, Decoy Totem. New 96% increased totem life. Old was 58% increased totem life. This should theoretically help in the early stages of the game when you're going through the campaign. Decoy Totem is usually used by hardcore players, not softcore players, so okay, I guess. New, you and your nearby allies have 24 increased armor and evasion rating. Old was 49, so big nerf in this department. Nearby enemies have 40% reduced critical strike chance. The old one was 29, so they shifted a little bit. I'm not entirely sure if Defiance Banner is dead now, but these nerfs seems pretty huge. Next, Devouring Totem. New 96% increased totem life. Old was 20%, so big 67% more. I'm not entirely sure who plays Devouring Totem, never saw it, but if you play it, good for you. Flesh and Stone. New, nearby enemies are blinded while in sand stance. You take 15% less damage from attacks from enemies that aren't nearby while in sand stance. Nearby enemies are maimed while in blood stance. So you take 4% less damage when you are in the sand stance. Okay, nice. Rejuvenation Totem. Added 67% increased totem life and modified regenerate 317.5 life per second. Old was 162.2 life per second, so Rejuvenation Totem got buffed big. Nice. For these people who use that, great buff. Summon Flame Golem. New 38% increased minion maximum life. Old was 88, so a 50% increased minion maximum life nerf. Bad for Flame Golem, I guess. Same thing with Stone Golem. Okay, next is Thunder. Thunder attack damage 325% of base. Old was 275, so a 50% buff of the base damage, and effectiveness of added damage was increased by 50% as well. Animate Weapon. Costs 4 more mana now. Great, nice change. Arctic Armor. Buff grants 21% less physical damage taken. Old was 13. And buff grants 20% less fire damage taken from hits while stationary. The old one was 12. Nice. Nice. I like that. Artillery Ballista. Attack damage is 65% of base. Old was 57, so a minor buff here. And effectiveness of added damage is 65 instead of 57. Charge Dash. Added. Hits from Final Wave deals 75% of damage per stage. Removed Final Wave deals 75% of damage per stage. Okay. Cremation. New. Explosion deals base fire damage equal to 5%. Old one was 4, so a 1% buff. Nice. Detonate Dead. New Explosion deals base fire damage equal to 7.9% of the corpse's maximum life. Old Explosion deals fire damage equal to 6% of the corpse's maximum life, so a 1.9% buff to the base version of Detonate Dead. Explosive Arrow added. Deals 6% more damage with hits per explosive arrow on target. Explosion deals 3% more damage with ailments per explosive arrow on target. Removed. Explosion deals 5% more with hits and ailments per explosive arrow on target. Okay. Fire Trap. Deals 3018.8 base fire damage instead of 4170.7 base fire damage per second, so big nerf in this department. Flamethrower Trap. New deals 243 to 366 fire damage instead of 211 and 319 fire damage now, so a small buff. Haste. You and your nearby allies gain 60% increased movement speed instead of 9. You and your nearby allies gain 24% increased cast speed instead of 16, and you and your nearby allies gain 24% increased attack speed instead of 16%. So overall 8% in buff for these two and a 7% buff for the movement speed. Good for aura bots and all-round players who use haste. Herald of Agony. New Agony Crawler has 4% increased attack speed instead of 3. I don't know, I never used that, so I can't really comment on that, but good for the players who use it, I guess. Reave, new attack damage is 250 instead of 225, so 25% buff here. 225, sorry. Effectiveness of added damage, 250 instead of 225, so a 50% overall buff, if you can say so. Scourge Arrow. New attack damage of base 40% instead of 35, and effectiveness of added damage 40% instead of 35, so minor buff here. Seismic Trap deals 597 to 896 physical damage instead of 853 to 1280 physical damage. So Seismic Trap got a pretty big nerf in my opinion. Sniper's Mark. Removed, you gained life last charge when you hit cursed enemy, no more than once every 0.5 seconds. You gain a mana blast charge when you hit cursed enemy, no more than once every 0.5 seconds. New. Curse a single enemy, increasing the damage they take from projectiles and making projectiles split when hitting them. To hit other targets around them, you can only have one mark at a time. Okay. Summon Ice Golems. 38% instead of the 88, I guess. Yep, correct. Big nerf in this department. Volatile Dead. Explosion deals base fire damage equal to 4% instead of 3. We already had that. Blazing Salvo. Effectiveness of added damage is 60% instead of 55. And new deals 270 to 405 instead of 241 to 361 fire damage. So small buff here. Body Swap. New Dispel deals 210 to 315 plus 4% instead of 3. And Explosion deals fire damage equal to 7.9% instead of 6% of the corpse maximum life. Crackling Lance. New plus 3 to beam with per insanity instead of plus 2. So buff here. Energy Blade. Two-handed energy blades have 70% more lightning damage instead of 50%. Firestorm. One impact every 0.15 seconds instead of every 0.2 seconds. Lightning Spire Trap. New effectiveness of added damage 85% instead of 75. And deals 238 to 713 lightning damage instead of 207 to 622 lightning damage. Ray Spectre. Ray Spectres are level 70. The old level was 72, so another nerf for Spectres. Yay. Fuck minions. Just kidding. Relax. It's a joke. Calm down, minion players. I love you. I'm one of you, okay? Ray Zombie. Removed 20% increased minion movement speed. Modified. Cost 28 mana. Old cost was 38. Nice, yeah. Fuck minions, I guess. Scorching Ray. New. Deals 780.7 base fire damage per second. Old was 696.3. So a buff to Scorching Ray. I think all the Righteous Fire build players are happy with that change. I think. But sure. Shock Nova. Ring always shocks. Plus 10% to maximum effective shock. Remove 20% chance to shock enemies. 39 and remove 39% increase of shock. Sorrent. Modified effectiveness of added damage 170% instead of 150. Base damage is now 885 to 1327. The old one was 716 to 1074. That's big, I think. New deals 2642.5 base chaos damage per second. Oh, okay. And the old one was 2138.5 per second. So big Sorin buff. Let's go. Spellslinger spotted skills have added spell damage equal to 174 instead of 100. So 74% buff here. Let's go. Spirit Offering. New. Consumes a corpse, granting increased critical strike chance and additional strike multiplier to your minions. The skill consumes other nearby corpses, increasing the duration for each corpse consumed. Added grants minions 148% increased crit chance and grants minions 39% to critical strike multiplier. Removed, minions gained 29% physical damage as extra chaos. Minions gain 30% to all elemental resistances. Grants minions 30% to chaos resistance. Next, summon Carrion Golem. 38% increased minion maximum life to 88. Chaos Golem is the same. Summon Holy Relic. Holy Relic Nova skill grants 154.6 life regenerated and per second to allies instead of 103. And Holy Relic Nova skills grants 464 life generated per second to minions instead of 309. Summon Lightning Golems, 38% instead of 88% increased minion maximum life. Summon Raging Spirits. Added minions deal 38% more damage. Removed minions gain 50% less added damage. Modified 6 mana cost from 12 to 16. Summon Skeletons. Removed minions gain 50% more added damage and they cost now 16 instead of 12 mana. Cast when damage taken support. Added supported skills deal 27% less damage. Removed supported skill deals 6% more damage. Cruelty support supports any skill that hits enemies. Minions cannot gain cruelty. Old supports any skill that hits enemies. Divine Blessing support. Modified. Supported skills have 34% increased aura of effect instead of old 24%. Eternal Blessing support. Supported skills have 24% increased aura effect instead of the old 5%. Big buff in my opinion. Life tap support. Supports any non-blessing skill. Minions cannot gain life tap buff. Old support any skill. Minions cannot gain life tap buff. Urgent Order support. Supported skills have 79% increased Warcry speed instead of 59. Nice buff. Advanced Trap support. Removed supported skills have 29% increased skill effect duration. Arrow Nova support. Supported skills deal 16% less projectile damage instead of the old 26%. So buff there. Cast and Death support. New 152% more damage while dead. Old was 304 damage, more damage while dead. These changes only affect softcore players. Hardcore players don't care about that, but yeah. Next one, Critical Strike Affliction support. New. Supported skills have 108 damage over time multiplier from ailments from critical strikes. The old one was 93%, so a small buff here. Nice. Summon Phantasm support. Modified. New. 20% chance to summon a Phantasm when supported skills or non-Phantasm minions from supported skills hit a rare or unique item. The old chance to summon a Phantasm was 10%. So, hooray for minion builds. Okay, that was it. I hope you found these changes as interesting as me, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.